Welcome, everyone, to the Women Are Worthy show. I want to wish everyone happy International Women's Day. Yes. Well, first of all, we're women every day. So I don't know why we need one particular day to stand out. But you know what? I'll take whatever it is that we get. Now, without further ado, I need to do general housekeeping. If you want to join our tribe, you must subscribe to our YouTube channel, our YouTube family, and our YouTube channel is the Women Are Worthy Network. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that little button, get the notification, and come on in. Well, I'm your host, Jacqueline Charles, and we also want to thank our sponsor, PCT Cleaning. If you're looking for COVID-free cleaning, you need to contact PCT Cleaning, and it's www.pctcleaning.com. Now, this is one of my favorite shows because you guys know I love talking about eating, I love talking about exercising, and things like that. So the Women Are Worthy show, and network, we want to welcome Melissa Neill. Melissa is a fitness guru for the mature woman and she's also a weight loss influencer. Now, this is for people who are 40 and over. Now, mind you, if you're 30 and younger, you still can be a part of what she's doing, but she really focuses on women who are 40 and over because it's not like, I don't know if you guys remember. Okay, let me tell you a little secret. Let's really break it down. Remember when if you skipped a meal, you could lose 10 pounds? Or back in the day when you were younger, well, your metabolism works differently now and you were actually hurting your body. So without further ado, and happy International Women's Day, we want to give a warm welcome to Melissa Neill. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Jackie. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
You are, you're the guru of what you do. And we really need to talk about this. First of all, let me say, okay, honey, I don't know your age, but you are looking fabulous.
Well, thank you so much. I'm 53 years old and I'm actually going to be 54 in a couple of weeks. But age is not a barrier to anything. You can achieve anything if you put your mind to it.
Well, I tell people I don't age, I younger. And I got that from before she gets me. I got that from Dawn from In Vogue. So it's basically you're not aging, you're youthing. So you're youth. So that's what we say, when we're talking to each other, it's youthing. We have Curly Girl USN that says, hooray, Melissa.
Thank you. Yeah, I am curly girl as well. Yeah, I get a lot of questions actually about my hair, but you know what? I don't do anything with it. I just wash and go. Somebody said, can you tell me what your hair routine is? And I thought, I don't really have a routine. I just wash it and put some conditioner and some oil on it.
And just go. Melissa, let's really talk because right now, during the pandemic, a lot of women, including myself, had gained some weight during the pandemic and wasn't going to the gym and didn't really, me personally, I'm speaking about me, I'm one of those people, I'm a people person. I have to be around people. So all that online stuff, Chaz, wasn't working for me. Hello, Miss Rosalind Richardson. It wasn't working for me. So I said, you know what? Okay. I'm not trying to get the COVID-19 because it's creeping up. Let me start working out online. So my question to you, why are you focused on that particular age group?
Because, Jackie, when I sort of was looking to kind of get in shape myself, I started 4 years ago, believe it or not. And I went through 2 years of agony, not really getting anywhere, because there isn't enough information for women in their 40s, 50s and beyond and going through the menopause about the type of exercise and diet that we should be doing. And you know what happens when we get older? What we normally do is we do the things that worked in our younger days. So we do that with makeup and clothes, don't we, as older women? And it actually doesn't work, does it? So we need to have kind of different strategies as we get older. Right. For makeup, and it's the same for exercise. What we did in our younger days, so we might have done a ton of cardio, for example, that's what I did, and it didn't work. And so what I felt, I started looking around on YouTube because I wanted to kind of get some ideas and look at some influencers, and there were no influencers my age. And I just thought, well, they're not talking to me about my problems. Right. I'm pre the menopause, I'm having difficulty with weight loss. Believe it or not, it might not look like that now, but a few years ago, I was having difficulty with weight loss. And these women, they were telling me they were on 4,000 calories a day. And I thought, well, if I eat that, I'm going to be huge. And they just weren't talking to me. Lovely, lovely women, but they're in a different stage in life. And actually, as we get older, it's a real struggle to lose weight. And we get this, it's called middle-age spread, isn't it? We get this belly fat, and it's really difficult to shift. But the information from the diet and fitness industry is actually a lot of the time it's incorrect. So I just wanted to put that right. I thought, you know what? I've been through so much to get to where I am. I want to teach other women. So my first platform was actually YouTube, and it's fantastic now because I'm over 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it's really been taking off quite recently. And, I'm so happy because I get messages and comments every day, literally hundreds of messages, either via my Instagram or comments on my channels. I'm on TikTok as well, from women just saying, thank you. I am so glad you've provided this information, because there isn't enough to help us, because we become invisible. The industry, the diet, the mainstream, the big brands in terms of the diet industry, the fitness industry, they don't care about us. They don't care about us, and they don't give us the right information. And so women that I come across, they're really struggling with their weight, and they feel like they're doing all the right things, and it's just not working. So they're so grateful that actually I'm giving them some straight information. Sometimes it's really honest. People don't realize, because a lot of the fitness influencers are really dishonest. So, I'm not going to name any names, but they're on YouTube, and they give false hope that you can actually reduce belly fat just by doing ab exercises. That's just one example. And actually, it's about diet. It's not about ab exercises. You could be doing thousands of ab exercises every day, and you're still going to have a fat tummy. But unfortunately, because that's the way they make their money, if you tell people you can do this exercise and get a flat tummy, lots of people are going to buy into that and buy their product, because they want quick fixes, don't they? And so what you find is there's a lot of dishonesty, and I'm not like that. I'm a straight talker. I'll just tell it how it is. And, if people say to me, I want to lose weight and I want to do it really quickly in a short space of time, they might say, well, I want to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. I'm just going to say to them, if you do that, you're going to ruin your body. It's not possible. And even if you do achieve it, what's going to happen is you'll lose the weight and you'll put it back on. But unfortunately, the diet industry, you can tell how passionate I am. They sell people these ideas like quick fix diets, this overnight success, and it just doesn't work like that. It's about changing your lifestyle for good. That's what's going to actually get you results, changing your lifestyle for good. And that's what I've done. And being fit and healthy on the inside is just as important. So for older women, it's about how we feel, isn't it? We want to feel good. We don't just want to look good on the outside. Yes, we want to be our best, but we want to feel good, because we're going, if your audience is anything like me, I'm going through the menopause. It can make you feel really tired. You get symptoms. So we want we want to feed our body with the right kinds of foods that are actually going to make us feel good. So it's not about just looking good, is it, Jackie?
It's not about just looking good, because for me, I'm vegan, right? I'm plant-based. And my thing is, okay, I don't want y'all to judge me, but I'm going to say this. during the pandemic, my breasts kept falling and down, down, down. So I'm like, I don't want my breasts to hit my laps. So I felt like a cow, like I had to tie my breasts, I throw my breasts over my shoulder when I'm going to the bathroom. So I'm like, well, okay, wait a minute now. We gotta work on this. So, and I agree with you. There's so many, and I can only speak about what I see on YouTube. There's so many people that are dishonest that are talking about the tummy tea, the flat tea, and all of, hello, Nancy, Miss Rosalind, hello, and Angela. They're talking about these are the things that made them, lose weight. And some of these women, let's be honest, they have gone on to a doctor. They've had the butt surgery, and they're telling us that they're taking squats. And, I'm not targeting any particular people, but like you, we see that. My sisters did not have to go through the menopause and that most people feel and all that kind of stuff because of their diet. Not diet. I don't like calling plant-based diet. I like calling it a lifestyle. So For me, it works for me. I don't suffer that all my other peers went through or go through. You just wake up one day and maybe you don't have a cycle or something like that. But I think with someone like you, which is well needed, because the industry is focused on maybe the 35, from 35 to 40 max. And I'm giving it 40 max. But anything we're supposed to look like when we were 20. And Nancy, Rosalind, Angela, and Miss Curly G, I don't know if you can agree with this, comment. It's like they forget about the 45s and over. But we're the ones with the money. We're the ones that, but it's like they forget about us. Not everyone wants to be a Kardashian. Not everyone wants to look like a Kardashian. I am so loving to see natural bodies now. But with that said, Melissa, I am not against anyone if they want to get a nip and tuck. I'm not here to judge that. But I don't want to see a 16-inch waist and a booty is like 90 inches. I don't want to see that because it doesn't look natural. And it sets up an unrealistic expectations because I'm mentoring young girls, and it does take hard work. But what I've learned, and I've watched some of your things as well, because I have an online trainer, what I think we need to do as women, we need to embrace where we are. I'm not saying if you gain a couple of weight that you shouldn't lose it, but women like you who've gone through the fire, women like you that's realistic and you're setting up realistic goals. I love that. So what was the most monumental thing that a customer or your client has said to you that just you felt it right here?
Oh, well, there's so many times because I know women that sort of contact me and, I have coaching clients are often really distraught because what you've got to understand, Jackie, is a lot of women our age really struggle with their weight. And they might not have had that problem in their younger days. Mm-hmm. And so what they're finding, even if they found, they might have been slim and, kind of that also women contact me that are actually really fit. They were slim in their younger days and then they suddenly hit their late 40s and, early 50s around that time. And it's like, bang, all of a sudden, they're not in control of their body when they have been all their lives. I think some women, if they've kind of been overweight all their lives, they don't find it such a shock. But some of the women that contact me, they've been in really good shape. Mm-hmm. And then COVID's had a part in that, as you said, because it's taken us out of our comfort zone, hasn't it? It was really stressful. So people tended to sort of comfort eat. And then all the regular things that you normally do to stay in shape, they were taken away from us, yes. weren't they? Yes. And so we had to get into kind of working out at home or online programs, YouTube even, that kind of thing. And so, the women that I come across, I think what really struck me is that they've just all of a sudden lost it, and it's meant that they've lost their confidence. They feel really bad about themselves. They feel guilty as well about what's happened. And, it's not your fault. Some things you can control. You can control what you eat, and you can control the way that you exercise. But as I've said, many of these women were kind of doing the right things. So I think you're right. It's about having a realistic expectation about what you can achieve, and just looking at changing the strategies. And that's what I talk to women about, is kind of changing what they do. So it's really focusing a lot around strength training, which is kind of my background. I am a bodybuilder. I am a competitive bodybuilder. I'm a bikini competitor, but I'm not on the larger scale of those women because I'm a natural athlete. So I take what I have learned from my world of being a bikini competitor, which I started very late in life. I did my first show, I think, when I was 51. So I started it very late in life. And so I take what I've learned from that. And the main foundation of exercise should always be about lifting weights. Why? Because it's going to help with our metabolism. As we get older, we've lost our metabolism, and that's due to depleting hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and the female version of testosterone. But it's also to do with losing muscle mass as we get older. So I'm not saying that everyone wants to look like me, but as a normal, everyday 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman, what you need to do is kind of put back the muscle that you've lost, because what muscle does is it burns fat. Mm. So it's funny, I've just posted something on TikTok today, just a bit of a fun thing, saying, you know, what do you think is the best fat burning exercise? And went through a list of different cardio exercises, and then at the end said, oh, actually it's lifting weights. So it's changing the idea of what women think is the best way, you know, the best type of exercise to do. So it's switching over to strength training. It's actually building in more rest time, because I get these women contacting me and they're just doing so much exercise. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But we actually need to take rest days. That's really important, because it's out of desperation, isn't it, Jackie? Because you think, oh, well, what I need to do is more and more and more. But sometimes less is more. And because of our hormones, we need to focus a lot more on rest and sleep. And that's what we don't need to worry about when we're young. But when we're older, losing weight is actually a lot about hormones. And to keep our hormones in balance, we need to get plenty of rest. If we've got stressful jobs and really stressful lives, that can raise our cortisol levels. And then if we're not getting enough sleep, it's raising our cortisol levels. And cortisol is a stress hormone, which we do need, but we don't need a ton of it when we're older, because it's going to, you know, mess with all our other hormones. And so it's going to be really difficult to lose weight, and actually we'll gain weight. So you've got to focus that you don't need to worry so much about that when you're young. But when you're older, getting sleep and rest is really important. And then really, you probably do this, Jackie, because you've got a plant-based diet, but a healthy whole foods diet.
That's what I wanted to jump into.
No processed foods. So the American diet, and the standard American diet and the standard sort of European diet is so bad for hormones, because it's full of processed foods. But what we need to be eating is sort of fresh foods that haven't been processed. So if it's like the kinds of meats and fish, they shouldn't have been tampered with. They're just, you know, I know you don't eat meat and fish, but it's fresh vegetables. It's everything that's not processed. And unfortunately, you know, I work mainly with women in the USA. They buy my products. They, you know, they're my coaching clients. And I can see that many of them that come to me, they think they're eating well because, you know, we're not educated properly about food. And this is the same in Europe as well. We're not educated, and the food companies push junk on us. And
Melissa, I want to interject that, because I think not only they push it on us, let me read some of the comments first, and then we can get back to that. Pamela says, hello, Jacqueline, Melissa. I'm 68, but only in calendar years. You're 68 youthing. Okay, Pamela? Curly Girl USN says, true that. Angela says, hello, y'all. Rosalind says, I felt the same way. It was hard to find someone on YouTube who's going through the same thing I was until Melissa's channel. I'm 52 youthing, and she's battling menopause. Rosalind said, exactly. Nancy says, yes, I agree. No chicken or beef for me. Now, and I'm going to keep reading some more and then we'll go back. For me, this is the problem. It's because of the processed foods, because of what they're doing, the chemicals they're putting in the chicken and the beef, because, you could eat that if it was chemical free or whatever. And I'm going to say that, but because it has all these, look at these girls who are 13 and 14. They look like they're 19. They have boobs when they shouldn't. Angela says, yes, I'm plant-based and it is a lifestyle. And what people need to understand, just because you're plant-based, that doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy unless you're eating whole foods and not processed foods. Nancy says, yes, I agree. Pamela says, I'm 68 and have signed up for one of Melissa's courses. She's such a fabulous example of a strong woman. I agree. I'm also vegan, work hard to get my diet balance. Big love from the UK. Curly Girl says, it's the fitness industry. Forgot about me once I hit 40s and now I'm 50. Girl, ain't that the truth? Bombshell 0617 says, I definitely have found the fitness industry not to be geared towards the older women. Just found your channel, Melissa, yesterday. Thank you for being a positive influencer. Angela said, it's very difficult. I'm 53 now, starting menopause, but health and fitness industry. I just have a few more. Yolanda says, I'm going to ask Yolanda's question in a moment. And I want people to understand, I created this channel, the Women Are Worthy Network and the Women Are Worthy Show. I created this channel for a place for women to share dialogue and women who've gone through traumatic obstacles that we can come and share. It's a place for us to share. We're all in the same book, just different chapters. We don't do the gossip, the negative stuff. It's all about positivity. We share with other women. We talk about anything and everything that impacts us, whether it's sex, whether it's, because when you get older and things like that, we just bring women together to talk about amazing topics, things that we should be talking about, that should be shed a light on, because sometimes the light is not there. You may think you're the only one, from suicide, sex trafficking, whatever it is, not in a great marriage. And for those who don't know, and I want to share this and then we're going to continue with this show, I'm a life coach. I'm a relationship, a happiness coach. I'm married 32 years. I don't look it, but trust me, it's just, I'm Cuban and Jamaican. It's the diet or the lifestyle, so that's what I talk about. I talk about women empowerment, and I love what Melissa is doing. So Melissa, we have a question for you. The question is, Yolanda asked, how do you increase metabolism when you have no energy?
Well, that is a fantastic question, because at our stage in life, we don't have much energy, and there can be a number of actual medical reasons why you don't have much energy, Yolanda. It could be that you have lower levels of hormones than other women in your age group. So it might be something that you want to check out. Could be a thyroid issue as well. So I know I recently had, and I encourage the women that I work with sometimes, if they're struggling with fatigue or they're really struggling to lose weight, even though we're doing everything right, is to actually get some hormone blood tests and get your thyroid test. So that's the first thing. And then still do the strength training, but just do it 3 times a week. So, I know that women that have like a thyroid condition, they should probably be only strength training 2 or 3 times a week. And just do that. If you're just starting off, do that 2 or 3 times a week of strength training. Focus on the healthy whole foods diet that Jackie was saying, because that's going to give you more energy, but also the good fats. It's really important that women over 40, we get the good fats. So what do I mean by good fats? That's olive oil, avocado, coconut oil, MCT oil, nuts, nut butter, if you don't have a nut allergy. And if you do eat fish, things like oily fish and fish oils. And they're going to be great for kind of balancing your hormones, which will give you more energy. And I also recommend vitamin D. Vitamin D is really important for women over 40. And we're not going to get it in the UK at the moment with the weather like it is. We're not going to get it from sunshine. Some people in the USA, you will get it from sunshine, you know, if you live somewhere like California or something, but others of you won't be able to get it at the moment, what you need. And particularly if you're a woman of color as well, vitamin D is really important, but it's also important for the menopause. So it's just looking at all that, you know, don't go really heavy on the supplementation. Just some simple things like that might give you your energy back. As I said, making sure you're getting enough rest and sleep. Now, I know this is really difficult because I struggle with sleep. And so I know that when we're in a certain type of life, sleep can be difficult, but it is something that you need to work on. So it's not having technology before you go to bed, sort of screen time. I know you're watching this, but you've got a few hours, haven't you, before it's bedtime. So don't have that screen time half an hour before bed. Put it down. Have a really calming bedroom. I've actually got something called a weighted blanket. I found that really helpful for me to get to sleep. Don't bother with sleeping tablets and all that. You know, try and look at the natural relaxation methods, having a candle burning of lavender before you go to sleep. Do all those things, use all that techniques, because getting rest and sleep is going to be really, really important for you. And that's going to give you the energy that you need to be able to implement the exercise, which I know is difficult. So hopefully, Yolanda, you found that helpful.
And I think that's right, because what I do for my bed, I have my lavender drops and I put that in my bed. So my bed has this smell. And I'm on YouTube. There's a thing on YouTube called binaural beats. I listen to that. I listen to rainstorms and stuff, because for me, I had problems sleeping, and that created problems with my blood pressure because I wasn't sleeping the allotted hours. So I do that. And for those of you, if you're plant-based, I'm going to be doing a plant-based cooking show, and to share recipes so we can talk about things like that. If any of you are interested, you know, I have an ebook on my website. It's thewomenareworthy.net. And if you go to the area, it's just an ebook. But we're going to go extensive, and we're going to talk about everything that goes into your food, because we want people to understand when you prepare it. I'm going to be honest, Melissa, sometimes on Saturdays, I'm in the kitchen for like 6 hours, 5.5, 6.
Wow.
Yeah, but what I do is I'm prepped for the whole week. I juice. What I found, and what I do with, you know, the people that are working with me, what I do is, a lot of people, especially when you have your cycle and your cycle is heavy, you're losing a lot of iron, which means that your energy. So what I found that work, and this is, you know, I believe in a lot of natural remedies, because again, being Jamaican, and now all of a sudden everybody's drinking coconut water when we've been drinking that for years, you know. So what I have implemented with my clients is blackstrap molasses, and it has to be a particular brand that's very good for iron. And you know, a lot of women have told me like, oh wow, I'm getting more energy. You know, just take a tablespoon, and that has worked for me and other people, because I was one of those who suffered from, you know, having a heavy cycle, fibroids, and I got fibroids because I thought I was grown, Melissa. I said, I want to try some chicken. So I come to Georgia and I tried chicken. Then my stomach looked like I was 5 months pregnant, and it was the hormones in the chicken. They wanted to do hysterectomy, and I told them, no, we're not doing that. And I did what I needed to do homeopathy wise. I don't advise everyone, but it helped, shrunk my fibroids. I did my plantation, and started doing acupuncture, acupressure, and, you know, voila, you know, because, you know, some of the people in the medical field just want to rip everything out. So, and I definitely agree with you when you mentioned that we need to, because of the screen, and we're always at this fight or flight kind of thing right now, we need to Calm down. Schwangel, what is it you're asking? What is it called again, please? What is it that you're wanting to know? Because we're here to share. So it's very important that we turn the lights down, because remember, we're hyper. It's a microwavable society. Yes, yes, yes. When someone's talking, you want to like finish your sentence. You have to, I promise you, ladies, the meditation, you may not like it. You may not, but the things that Melissa is saying, incorporated the weighted. Angela wants to know, what's the weighted blanket, please. I'll let you explain it, because I had to do that with my puppy.
Yeah, it's something that I've only just discovered, a weighted blanket. And I'm trying to think of the brand that I use, but you can just search it up online, weighted blanket. And the one I've got, I think it's about £18. I'm trying to work it out in my head because I'm thinking in kilos, like I always do. And yeah, I think it's about £18 in weight. So it's quite heavy. And you just get this really funny sensation when you put it over you, because it's weighing you down. And I do wonder whether it's something to do with being back in the womb or something. But it really relaxes you as soon as you put it over you. And it might not work for everyone. It is a big investment. They're not cheap. You're probably looking at something like $100 plus or more to get one. But I found it's really, really helpful for me, because I tend to get up in the night to go to the bathroom a lot, and then I find it really difficult to get back to sleep. And so that's my problem, not getting to sleep in the first instance. It's waking up and then not getting back to sleep. So I found it really helpful for that. But if you do, the one I've got is called calming blankets. I think it is available in the US. But I just thought, well, it's worth the investment rather than doing something like taking a pill or whatever. It's looking at those natural remedies that Jackie was talking about, sprinkling the lavender, the weighted blankets, all those kind of things. That's the best way of exploring getting more sleep rather than taking medication for it, because then you become reliant on the medication, and the medication can be harmful in other ways.
And when you mentioned the blanket is supposed to simulate when you're in your mother's womb. That's what it's simulating. And if you noticed in Europe and some, like in Africa too, when the baby is wrapped up, when a baby's born, they wrap the baby really tight. And if you notice, and it's like weighted, and that's what they've talked about dogs when they're scared of the storm, to get a weighted blanket on on people and things like that, especially your dogs. But it gives you such a relief. It simulates being in the womb of your mom. That's what that really simulates, the whole weighted blanket. And I hope, and who was it? Swag, did I get your information? It was, the best one to get is Plantation. It's a yellow bottle, and the black strap is unsulfured, and it's really good. Black strap molasses. When I'm doing my oatmeal, I may put a little bit in there. Now, yeah, Curly Girl said weighted blanket is awesome, but only in the winter. Jay Moet says, is running helpful? I run 3 miles a week, but of course my weight loss has stalled. Oh, answer that one, because I know where this is going. Go ahead. That's your answer. She said,
I'm not a big fan of running, to be quite honest. Yep. I did running and I actually gained weight. And so I always advise women really to cut out running. There's a number of reasons for that. Actually, what you're doing, 3 to 5 miles, is not too bad because it's not excessive. I definitely would say that doing more than 30 minutes of running is not a good idea. Why? Because it's going to damage our metabolism. Because what happens when we're doing excessive running, so long distance running. So I was doing stuff like training for half marathons, that kind of thing, where you're doing 10 miles and that kind of thing. And that's actually going to make you lose more muscle. And we're already losing muscle. So we can't afford to lose any more muscle, because that's what's damaging our metabolism, is losing muscle. So what I like to do is get women to focus on the strength training. So that's lifting weights, which can be done from home. You don't need to go to the gym. 90% of the women that I either talk to or that work with me, they lift weights at home. And that's perfectly fine. I'm doing that at the moment because the gyms are shut in the UK for 6 months of last year. And you can probably see I'm quite muscular. I was doing all my lifting weights at home, and I don't have a ton of heavy weights at home. You know, I don't have one of these fantastic home gyms. I've got very basic equipment like dumbbells, so you can do it at home. And I would recommend 3 or 4 times a week, switch your running to strength training. And then in terms of your cardio, do something called high intensity interval training. I've got a couple of videos on my YouTube channel, well, more than a couple, on high intensity interval training, and it can be low impact, because I know many women in our age group worry that high intensity means high impact, so lots of jumping around, but it doesn't have to be jumping around. It can be all done without jumping. So I've got a couple of workout videos that you can use, or you can just do it on a machine, or you said you like running. So rather than doing your jogging, it's actually doing something called sprint intervals, where you run very, very fast for 30 seconds and then you rest or walk for 30 seconds. And why is that? Because high intensity interval training is really good for fat burning. It actually burns fat for 48 hours after you've completed it. And you can do it in a short space of time. So you only need to do 15 minutes, 20 minutes of HIIT just 3 times a week. That's all. So you can kind of fit it in after your strength training. So it's not too onerous. And if that's completely out for you, then do something like walking. But I really recommend to sort of cut the running, really. And it's also really bad on our joints. Really bad on our joints. I ended up with all sorts of problems with my feet, my calves, my hip, my back. So it's just that kind of, it's because it's very repetitive. Often people are doing it on a really hard surface. If they're doing it outside, they're not always lucky enough to live near some countryside in a rural area where they can do it on soft ground. And so it's just really heavy on our joints as well as damaging our metabolism.
You're right, because what I do now is I was going to this place, and I'll say it, called Orange Theory. And baby, when I tell you they work the hell out of you, it's like 60 minutes on. And a lot of my doctor friends were telling me where when you finish exercising, I'm telling you, Melissa, you want to go to sleep. But when I tell you my body was banging, but here was the problem. A lot of my doctor friends were telling me they were seeing repeat offenders coming into the emergency room because they were they were the ankles, the legs, they were having injuries because you're doing the treadmill, it's interval trainings, but it's at top speed. Now, okay, I'm like, and I'm one of those people, if we're running on the treadmill together, I'm down low competing against you, because if you're going at 7, I'm going at 7. It was wreaking havoc on my body. So I started to fall into this thing where someone told me 30 minutes is all you need, Jackie. And I'm like, yeah. Well, no, my body, no. And I started seeing that. I'm like, so now I have people reaching out to me saying, Jackie, we'll offer you free memberships. Just talk about us. We'll pay you. And I'm not doing it for the buck, because my body doesn't no longer respond to 60 minutes. If it's not 30 minutes, I'm not doing it. And I'm I started with my trainer, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel better. I told her, I said, I think I lost a couple of, things. I don't have the chicken arms anymore. And I said, I'm seeing that little line in my arms, and my waist feel like my boobs now. I don't have to throw it across my shoulders when I'm going to the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, my boobage is looking good. So I definitely agree with that. Let me read some of the comments. Angela, what I did was I changed, as I said before, well, you didn't hear, what happened was I started eating chicken, right? Yes, I thought I was grown. I wanted to try what this chicken was. And then I was eating fried chicken. And I found out from my acupuncturist, she mentioned that when Black people normally eat, this is what she said. She was a little old Asian lady. And she said, Black people normally eat the leg and the wing and the wing and the thigh. This is where they inject the hormones in the chicken. And that's what I was eating. I even started eating red velvet cake. Girl, I done lost my mind. Well, I almost lost my life because I do a series that I talk about where my husband took a picture of me, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was at death's door. My body shut down. They could not, when they had to pull my blood, they had to go through my neck. I have pictures of that because I do a plant-based thing, that I do here. And it was bad because my body was physically shutting down. I could have died. And by the grace of God, they were pumping me with a whole bunch of medications. And I signed out AMA. That's against medical advice. I told my husband, we're going to come out of the hospital. And the first thing I did, I went to a farmer's market, got a whole bunch of, my cholesterol went up because of the medications they gave me, Melissa. I signed out and we went to the farmer's market. I juiced for 30 days. When I went back, because I had to go for a follow-up because of course I discharged myself, they could not believe that my cholesterol went back to normal. They thought I did something. They actually thought that I also had and this all started because of the fibroids and my whole body shutting down. So I decided to take matters in my own hand. I'm not advising anyone to do that, but I had to go back to nature, how I was raised. So I started eating less processed foods, started, taking my supplements that I take. And I mean, herb stuff, like sour sop and sweet sop juices and things like that. So that's what I did. And it can be very depressing because, girl, Angela, let me tell you, I didn't want to take my clothes off in front of my husband because I thought he was going to buy me, do a baby shower for me. That's how big my tummy got. So I get that. So AHW says, I'm loving everything I'm hearing. During time of hormone chaos, over-exercise is not beneficial. Prolonged cardio raises insulin levels, and insulin teams up with the cortisol to deposit belly fat. That's right.
Yeah.
Cynthia says she agrees. For sleep, ocean wave sounds, binaural beats, and rain sounds are the best. Calms the mind for sure. And also, if you get an Epsom salt and you put that in the bathtub, that helps you tremendously. That magnesium will help you go to sleep. J. Monet says, thank you. Curly Girl says, guess I'm in trouble. I've been running for 40 years. Nope, you're not in trouble now because now you have Melissa. So now you will listen. If you haven't signed up, you'll sign up for her course. So now you know what she's talking about. Jay Monet says she agrees too. She's in trouble. And if you think about this, Melissa, I don't know if you remember this. Curly G says, form is important. Lady says, thank you, ladies, for this important information. My belly blew up and I couldn't figure it out. I'm not in good shape, but this was crazy. Figured out it's good old menopause. Plant-based diets typically thins the hair. What is the caloric intake for? I don't agree with the plant-based diet thinning your hair. I don't worry about caloric intake. I eat whatever I want to eat. When I say whatever, I hear people talking about you can't have fruits, you can't have vegetables, I don't have any of those issues. I eat whatever. And when I feel full, I'm full because remember, you're eating a lot of fruits, you're eating a lot of vegetables. I have a lot of green stuff that I eat that, and especially I dab into the Asian community. I don't eat a lot of broccoli. I prefer to do the Chinese broccoli. So that's what I do. And Angela says, exactly, yes, thank you. First of all, Melissa, I want to go back and say, you're doing a tremendous service for people here. You're doing tremendous, and I want you to continue to do what you're doing because we're changing lives. We do things not differently, we're on the same page. And I just love what you're doing, because at the end of the day, my platform is to support other women. It's not a competition or anything like that. We have to help other women. And I encourage you to look at Melissa's page, look what she's doing, sign up for her class. On my page, like I said, I have a plant-based lifestyle, and I have an ebook, and I'm going to be coming out with actual foods that don't take you forever to cook. When I mentioned I was there for 6 hours, it's because I was preparing the whole week of food for my husband and myself, and even breakfast. Okay. Everybody knows about jackfruit and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many that I can make you something that when I'm making it, people think that they're eating spare ribs. So I know how to do all that stuff.
Wow.
And my husband told me, he's like, Jackie, you've been doing this for years. Why don't you just go ahead and do it? He's like, Jackie, your YouTube would blow up. But I was doing other things. But now that I see that what's happening to what has saved my life, and I'm telling you guys, Melissa, we got to do a redo, because I got to show that picture where, when I'm talking, and I'm glad my husband took the picture. At first, I didn't want him to, but he took the picture, and he's like, I got to take the picture because these doctors are saying you need to call your family because we don't think you're going to make it. So that was a scary. Angela said, I'm glad I found this lady. Yes, she is fabulous. And you're fabulous too, Angela. Swangle 3 says, great information. She's glad that she found your channel. Nancy says, yes, this is what happened to me with my gallbladder. I ate a hamburger and fries, and then it was a trip to the hospital. And that you have to remember, I'm going to say this, Melissa, a lot of restaurants now, because they're finding out how the money is in plant-based lifestyle. So they'll make vegan burger, McDonald's, Burger King, and all those other places will make these vegan burgers. But what people need to realize, that they're cooking it in the same oil with the oil on the same grill. Like for me, I have to be careful when I'm eating potatoes, because potatoes, one of the number one things that people have to remember, inflammation. Potatoes, you have to soak it. Potatoes, there's so many things that are inflaming foods that you have to be careful. So for me, I don't do regular potatoes. I do the Japanese yams, and that fills you even more than regular potatoes, because look at the starch, so there's a lot of nightshade foods. There's a whole lot of things. Melissa, definitely, I'm going to have you on when we do the cooking show so we can just have conversations and things like that, because
I'd really like to do a collaboration and get you onto my channel, Jackie, when you do get this cooking off the ground. I think my audience would really like it.
And I think my audience would like you too, because I'm telling you, people are like, Jackie, when I tell them my age, and I'm like, nope, I have not done anything. This is just me. And I live a positive life, meaning I don't deal with Debbie Down, and I'm always going to share your information, Melissa. And I just want people to understand, because I want to bring more people who are delving into women who are 40 and over, because we're the group, we're semi-financially stable. We know where we are. We're at the point where we don't give a crap anymore. You know what I'm saying? We say what's on our mind, but I think society has forgotten us. They forgot that the contribution we make, they've forgotten us. And I think we can't forget the 40 and over, drink tons of water. I can't remember. Look, I'm not going to lie. I miss freaking wine. And there's vegan wines out there, yes. But when I say I want to drink a damn glass of wine, but I'm rewarding myself because I have a photo shoot. The only thing I'm doing differently, Melissa, is I'm working out more. And that's what I'm doing. When I mean more, I'm not exerting my body, because I even told my trainer, my God, why am I not exhausted? I'm working out. I'm 30 minutes. We do different things. And I used to be a squat queen. I can do 200 squats a day. So I'm learning not to, work as much. But like I said, I think we can do something that's beneficial to every woman, because this should be a movement. What we're doing should be a movement, not just something here or a diet. So I definitely welcome you. Like, let's see what we can do. Someone says, yes, soak or boil potatoes first to get the starch out of it, just like rice. You have to soak it to get the starch out. That's why, quinoa, but we'll talk about things like that. So Melissa, now, I want to talk to you about, why do you think it's important on Women's International Day that women support each other, collaborate, and work together?
Oh, it's just so important. We're so much stronger together, aren't we? And, that's what I look to do with other people like you, Jackie. And then I'm collaborating actually with, believe it or not, some other fitness influencers that I've found through TikTok, actually, that do over 40s and over 50s women. And so, if we've got the right mindset, we shouldn't see each other as competition. We should all work together because everyone's got a slightly different take on it. So your take is all around the kind of plant-based lifestyle. Mine tends to be more around the kind of strength training lifestyle. So we've all got different aspects to offer, different knowledge, different experience. And so it's really important and much more powerful if we can work together. And, it's like we're having a chat, aren't we, on this channel, on your channel, and it's so much better for other women to watch two women together than just one woman talking, isn't it? And so it just, we've got to start, and I think I've seen this with the Black Lives Matter movement so much more, is that we've started to collaborate and support each other. And I know through my Instagram channel, I support other sort of Black businesses, other women, and, promote what they're doing. It's not just about promoting me and what I do, because
Right.
if I see someone that I think, what they're doing is amazing, I'm really happy to promote them because, we're so much more powerful together. And when we talk about that stuff around 40s and 50s women, the fact that we're kind of invisible, it's easy for the industry per se to forget about us. So if we're working collaboratively together, it's just going to be so much more powerful. And I think that's kind of what International Women's Day is about, isn't it? It's collaborating together, working together, celebrating the achievements of women across the world. And that's really important, isn't it?
It is, and it should not be just one day. Just like when you have Black History Month, it shouldn't just be 30 days or 29 days. It should be all year round, because I'm here to celebrate you, Melissa. Yes, it's my channel, but it's our platform. It's Nancy's, it's AHW, it's Lady, it's Shalisha. It's all of ours. Curly G, Nancy. It's all of our channel, because I'm here. I'm just a vessel. And look, like I said, I talk to women about relationships. I'm married 32 years. So for me, why wouldn't it hurt? I said, let me go ahead, get my certification and show women, because I'm sick and tired in this industry, in this space. People who are married 4 or 5 times talking to women about relationships, people who are not married or in a relationship talking to people about relationships. It doesn't work. So I'm like, okay, now I'm a lead expert. I can do it. I'm plant-based. I can talk about plant-based. I can talk about things like that because it's stuff that impacts my life. So why would I only want to be the one happy? I want you to be as happy as I am, or happier with a significant other, whatever it is. So we should, because think about this, a happy and a content woman, we change the world. We are here. Just think about it. If all your I's and T's are dotted and you don't have to worry about this, because I look at this, ladies, I support Melissa. When Melissa feels like she wants to fall, my job is to make sure she doesn't fall, not hit the ground and walk over her, is to make sure and that's what I'm creating. I'm creating a tribe of women are worthy, that we're here to support each other. We're not here to knock you down, because someone just said, well, they want to lose weight. This is what they're looking to do. Like I believe, who is it? Shalisha, she's going to be celebrating her 53rd birthday on Thursday. So I told her happy early birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And we want people, someone says, don't eat Impossible Burger. That is not vegan. And, for some people, if you want to eat it once in a blue moon, and we know how that comes, that's what you need to do. But you have to prep. It takes time, but I'm telling you, I cooked enough that I don't have to worry about cooking tonight. I don't have to worry about cooking breakfast. Everything is laid out. So sometimes you have to sacrifice. So your body is your temple. What goes in is what comes out. Drink tons of water, tons of water. I said, I'm not a soda drinker. That's just not me. But look at Melissa's skin. It's just beautiful. I mean, when I look at you, I see a strong, fit, beautiful sister. And when I say sister, I'm not talking about Black woman. I'm talking about sister because you got a vagina. So that's what I'm calling a beautiful sister. So, and we welcome people on this platform to, just talk about issues and things like that. But at the end of the day, how do we fix them? Because I'm not here to have a bitch fest. I'm here, okay, you're going through something. What do we need to do? Right now, think about this. The pandemic happened. I mean, at one point, you may have to do your own vegetation. You may have to have planted, because if they decide to shut down the country again, what are you going to eat? So now is the time to start planting. And look, I'm not preaching, because that's what my husband does. If it wasn't for him, baby, I'd be in trouble. But he does all that stuff. He has the green thumb and things like that. I just know how to cook anything and make it taste good. Whatever it is, I can make it taste like a curry goat, a oxtail. I know how to cook all that stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing. Pancakes. We're going to be showing. So I welcome collaborating with you, sharing our audiences and stuff. And I want to bring more people on to talk about this, because we need this. Between financial stability, financial literacy, relationship, fitness are the three top things at my platform that people want to talk about. So that's what we're going to do. Pamela said, girls, don't ever be invisible. Be strong, be confident, be an example of your daughters and your sons. Yes. Okay. AHW wants to know, what exercise can help the bat wing arms?
Right. Well, that's a really good question as well, because we always have parts of our body that we're not happy with. And it was one of the things that I talked about earlier. I don't know whether you were on earlier, is the diet industry and the fitness industry tends to be a bit dishonest. So they'll kind of say, oh, you can do this exercise and get rid of that. So there are some exercises, and I've actually got a video on my YouTube channel that goes through the exercises that you can do to strengthen this part of your arm. But actually what you need to do is also focus around, and this is the main thing, focus around your diet and just getting your body fat levels down. And that's when the bat wing will go. So some people typically have it around their belly. Mm-hmm. Some people might have it, on their arms, but it's the same principle. It's really focusing on a good diet and, some strategies in place, including exercise, to get your body fat down. And eventually in those stubborn places, it will go. And do some strength training, which is just going to tighten it up and give you a bit more toning there as well. So that's the answer.
And, and you think about it, ladies, when you feel good, you look good. Because I'm telling you, when I'm on point, it's almost like my boobs go up a little higher, my shoulder goes back, and then I just have pep to my step. You can't tell me anything because you look good. Your legs look good, your calves, and you're like, because I look at myself sometimes, when I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm kissing my biceps, and I am just, I'm just loving that. I'm just loving, on this journey, because sometimes we fall, we just got to get back up. Eggs, that's another thing. It's not dairy. It's not considered dairy, but think about all the stuff that are in eggs. Because think about this, and then they have the chickens cooped up, and the some of them are half dead, and you don't know what you're eating. Because I had this client, and she said when she burped, she said she smelled like a cemetery. And I'm like, well, what did you eat? And she said, well, I went and had some chicken. And People, it was just a whole mess. So again, I am here just to support my sisters, seeing what we can do. Someone says, I also watch JMUA Artistry on YouTube. She's also in her 50s and training for a bikini show. You know, we support everyone as long as it's positive. You're giving the great information. That's what we're doing. Most women are not training for a bikini, and some are. Some want to look, because I'm telling you, you can still look great at any age. We had Ernestine. She's like, what, in her 80s now? 80s. Oh my God. And she took up weightlifting and the whole journey late in life. Her and her sister, and then her sister passed, and she decided to still do it. And she looks phenomenal in a bikini. She just looks phenomenal. So I think the key is we have to be look our best and be our best, because if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. One of my fears lately was, oh my God, if something happens, the fire truck's going to have to get one of those 2-ton things to pick me up. I don't know why I thought that way, but that's the way I thought. And because I'm a busty girl, I have to be careful what I'm wearing, because if it's loosely fit, it looks like I'm fat. So it has to be fitted. And ladies, I don't know about y'all, I am not wearing those damn waist trainers every day for 6 hours. I'm not wearing those tight ass girdles that your grandmama used to wear. And then when you moving your liver, your kidney, your lungs, look, I'm not for that foolishness, and sucking in the stomach. But these waist trainers, that's another fallacy that they have out there. You wear these waist trainers and your tummy will be, good as new. Now I understand some people exercise in them, but to sit in them, Melissa, for 6 hours a day, when I get hangry, and if I have to do that, that's a problem. And we know men invented that stuff. We know that. Angela said it took me 2 tries to go plant-based, finally successful, and you feel great. Yes, and most people who are plant-based and they're eating a plant-based, no processed foods, they're never chunky or anything like that. Because I'm telling you, don't fall for that fallacy. If you eat, plant-based fruits, you're going to get diabetes. Oh my God, we're not even going to go there. That's another show. Melissa, what tip would you like to give someone, along with please giving your handles, how they can get in contact with you?
I think it's about loving yourself. So you just talked a little bit about it. It's embracing the body that you're in. And that's one of my regrets before I went through my transformation, that actually I didn't just embrace the body that I was in. And so that's really important. And don't compare yourself to others. There's only one you, and you're fantastic. So it's about celebrating and learning to kind of love yourself. That's really important. And just don't compare yourself to others, because you're never going to look like somebody else. This is what I used to do. I got obsessed about looking a certain way, getting to a certain body fat percentage. And actually, that's not important, because everyone's different. You're unique. It's celebrating you. And all my contact details, I've got my YouTube channel, which is Melissa Neill, Melissa, Neill, Neill, and then it's melissaneill.com. And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at MS Melissa Neill, Ms. Melissa Neill. That's the same handle on TikTok and Instagram. So do give me a follow there as well, because I do loads of all this stuff every day on a daily basis, loads of tips, loads of information. And, I just my passion is to help you guys out on your journey, whatever that journey is. And everyone is so different, as I said, but we're all beautiful and we all have something about ourselves that's unique that we want to celebrate. And so it's focusing on that and try not to focus too much on the things that you maybe want to improve or you don't like, because that's a negative way of coming at it.
That's true. And I think it's sending negative signals, because I'm all about energy. I'm an empath, and it's all about putting positive energies out there. Embrace your body. Someone said that they couldn't embrace your body the way it is now. take a look at it naked, love it, and then start where I'm telling you, you guys may not want to do it. Someone probably said, you crazy, but I think that's what we need to do. Look at your body in the nude. Just love it. Let your body know, because I'm telling you, it's releasing a lot of things, whether you believe it or not. Love your body, embrace it, then start the road of, this is what I'm going to do, because you want to be healthy. You want to make sure your blood pressure, you don't have any blood pressure issue, diabetes, and your risk for a heart attack and things like that, and also mental health. I want to talk about this before we sign off. One of the most important things that I want you ladies to take away from this is self-care. I don't consider exercising self-care. That's what you're taking care of your body. But I think you need to, whether it's reading a book, whether it's getting a manicure or pedicure, or whether it's just walking on, going by the beach. And I understand we have COVID right now, but treat yourself to something. You can't just, I play this game with myself. Okay, it's not the weight, it's the inches. But if I do my training 3 days a week, and if I do it for 2 weeks, I'm going to treat myself to a manicure or something. Do something that you love, whether it's reading, do something to take care of your mental health, because this mental thing, this COVID is creating suicidal thoughts. It's creating a lot of things. Exercising helps that with the endorphins. It brings on the happiness. So it's great to exercise, but please, 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 ladies, take the time to check on one another. Take the time to love yourself. You're not being selfish if you're putting your family behind you. You are important. You have to take care of you first. And that's what I say. And I want people to go to our Instagram page is the Women Are Worthy Show. Our YouTube channel is the Women Are Worthy Network. Make sure you subscribe. I'm telling you, we have so many amazing things coming. It's just phenomenal. Melissa, you have been a phenomenal. I know it's like after midnight where you are. I thank you. I challenge you, my sister. If there's anything that you're needing, please contact me, because we're here to help. AHW says, thank you both so much. We need to get this amazing information out to all women, especially our sisters who are higher risk of chronic illness. That is so true. And that's what we're working on. We want to help the masses. We just get them, on these shows, and we talk about, Melissa and I, at the end of the day, we want to help the village, mind, body, soul, and spirit. So we're going to get more information out on her platform, my platform, and we're going to be doing things, some collaboration. So Melissa, thank you for tuning into the Women Are Worthy Show. Ladies, tune in tomorrow night. We're going to have author Danny P. She's going to be on talking about, she's a motivational speaker. And just look out for me, because I'm going to be talking about more relationship stuff. Because if my husband tells me one more time, Jackie, start talking more, give out recipes on our Instagram page, we do some education as well. So without further ado, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Show. We want to thank our sponsor, PCT Cleaning, at pctclean.com if you're looking for a COVID cleaning, if you're in the Georgia area. So thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure. Melissa, I'm loving you. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Village, okay? Bye-bye.